Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk's newest show, Prop Shop. We are lucky enough to be joined by the most talented Ariel Epstein from MLB Network. And, of course, you all know her as the prop queen on Yahoo Sports. And what a great fit. I am so lucky to find my counterpart in the prop betting market, being the prop master at Wager Talk, joined by the prop queen, Ariel. It is so cool to finally do some work with you. Been a big fan for a while, and it looks like we're going to try and do this every Thursday. We're not going to make a lot of small talk because we got a couple props we got to get to that start here in just a little bit. So talk to me. We're going to go over Plesac and DeSclafani on some K props. These go off at 1:10 Eastern. So let's just jump right in. Let's get some winners for these guys. So talk to us what you like about these two on these K props.
Thank you for all the kind words, Andy. I'm so excited to be working with you two and talking props with somebody who really focuses in on the market like I do. For these Major League Baseball strikeout props today, I decided we've got to go watch some 1 o'clock games and sweat out some bets. I'm going with this under 4.5 strikeouts on the San Francisco Giants starter, Anthony DeSclafani. Or we'll start with Zach Plesac here because, DeSclafani. Okay. DeSclafani under 4.5 strikeouts, just because the New York Mets have the 6th lowest K rate in baseball, the 4th lowest when up against a right-handed pitcher. That's what DeSclafani is. The Mets have faced 10 different righties this year, and 8 out of the 10 have gone under their strikeout prop. I also looked at DeSclafani in 2021. When he was pitching in day games, he had an ERA above a 5. If he's going to get the wind blowing out like it is in New York today, in addition to the Mets lineup, which has been hot lately, hitting him hard, then I'm going to go with this under 4.5 strikeouts. Hopefully he gets pulled. The line also moved about 20 cents in favor of the Mets this morning. That leads me to believe that the Mets could hit DeSclafani today. My other prop for today is the under 4.5 strikeouts on the Cleveland Guardians starter, Zach Plesac. He's another pitcher that in 2021 did not pitch well in the day, did not pitch well on the road. He had an ERA above 5 in both, averaging less than a strikeout per inning when in those two spots. The Guardians are another team that have struggled a lot. The Guardians are another team that has not struck out a lot. They have been one of the least strikeout-prone teams in baseball. When looking at their numbers, the White Sox are one of the least strikeout-prone teams in baseball. They have not struck out much. 9th overall in lowest K rate, 8th overall in lowest K rate against right-handed pitchers. So Cleveland's got themselves a handful if they're going to try to strike out a bunch of these bats in Chicago. These White Sox players also have faced 9 different starters with K props, and 7 out of the 9 have gone under against the Chicago White Sox this year. So I'm going to go bet the under 4.5 strikeouts on Zach Plesac. I totally messed that whole thing up and botched it. I'm sorry. Just take the under.
No, you're perfectly fine. We got into the show
Indians
late.
thing really messes me up every time. I have had to redo 100 social media videos because I can't say Guardians.
Got to get that edit button on Twitter so we don't send out bad tweets. All right, we got the early ones out of the way. You guys can go place those wagers. Now we can take a deep breath. You like Gonzalez tonight in a prop as well, correct?
I like Gonzalez, the starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners tonight. He's up against the Texas Rangers. The Rangers have one of the lowest K rates in baseball. In fact, they have the 2nd lowest K rate in all of baseball, the lowest against left-handed pitchers. Gonzalez is a lefty. When looking at all these different teams that have faced the Texas Rangers, only 2 have gone over their strikeout prop against Texas, and one of them was a lefty. So there's not many pitchers going over strikeout props when facing the Rangers. No matter how bad this team is, the last few years, they aren't strikeout prone. Gonzalez has gone under this strikeout prop number in 3 out of the 4 games where he faced Texas last season. So I'm going under 4.5 strikeouts on Gonzalez tonight too, Andy.
Nice. Love all those. All right. So we got the 1 o'clocks out of the way. We got a late game. So Now the MLB season, we got a little bit of a sample size here to look at some of these props and just overall teams. So you have any takeaways on teams or players that you've been focused on? I don't know, guys, you've been excited about, guys that have been disappointing. 10, 11 game sample size. What do you think so far?
Really excited about the Yankee starter Nestor Cortez. That number is going to catch up to him on his strikeout prop for sure. It was just at 5.5. Now it's going to get probably put up to 6.5 after he struck out 12 batters his last outing against Baltimore. Cortez looked awesome. He's definitely been one of the pitchers I've been most excited about for overs. When it comes to unders, I love Texas, Seattle, and the Kansas City Royals. These are three teams that have not struck out much in the last couple of years. Last season, the Royals were bottom 5 in K rate every single time. Go look to the unders on those teams. I'm also excited for the Royals starting rotation to go on the road. Bubic, who's one of their, I think he's their number 3 guy, Chris Bubic. He's one of the players that when he was on the road last year, I took the team total over against him every single time. I'm not sure. I don't think he's been on the road yet because I feel like I would have caught it. When Bubic is pitching on the road for Kansas City, team total over on those spots for sure.
Nice. I'm excited to watch the Texas Rangers and Cincinnati Reds continue to suck. They're great fade material right now. Awesome fade material right now. A couple of props I have my eye on today. I can't say these are huge plays. This first one is juiced, but man, it seems great. I like JP Crawford over half a base. He hasn't been hitting great recently. He's in a 1-13 mini slump, but before that, 11 for 22. So, he's shown that he can go on these really good streaks. And sometimes you want to catch a guy coming out of a slump. He loves hitting against Taylor Hearn, 7 for 12 for a 583 batting average, 2 extra base hits and a home run. So I like his matchup there today. And then I think my favorite one is Pablo Lopez. Is facing the St. Louis Cardinals. This is a Cardinals team that just doesn't strike out at all. So when we're looking at the Cardinals, they've got the second lowest strikeouts per game with 6.8. Only Alcantara is the only right-handed pitcher to face St. Louis and get over 4 strikeouts. And the current Cardinal batters, last 35 plate appearances against him, they only have a total of 5 strikeouts. So I think you're looking at a really nice under there on the strikeouts. And Ariel, it's interesting. You and I just gave out some K props, and they're unders. And, I know bettors love betting overs, but the unders have been the way to go this first part of the season, right?
That is a trend that has caught my eye, too. I usually have bet a ton of overs and strikeout props. I've done pretty well with them too. The problem is that these books have been overly juicing so many of these overs. They have been underpricing pitchers and putting these numbers at minus 150 or longer. I hate that. I don't want anything to be above minus 150 to have to lay that much juice on a prop. These books weren't doing that before. The numbers weren't as sharp. It felt like in the last few years, from 2019 to about 2020, 2021, the strikeout prop market was more about overall averages. The books seem to be catching on to the lefty-righty splits, the home-away splits. These numbers have become much sharper. Even when they try to give you a number on, like yesterday, for example, the starting pitcher for the Padres, Mackenzie Gore, he's a really good strikeout pitcher. The book gave us a 5.5 on him against the Reds, who are a team with one of the highest K rates in baseball. Over 5.5 was minus like 155, minus 165 in some spots. I'm not laying it. I would have taken an over 6.5 on him. The book won't give us those options. That's why you're seeing a lot more unders this year. I've seen more overly juiced overs than I have before.
Yeah, the pricing has to be included in your long-term and short-term handicapping strategy. You got to say, if I'm laying minus 160 all year long, it's a recipe for disaster. So that is really good stuff. Ariel Epstein from Yahoo Sports, the prop queen, joining us. And let's shift our attention to NBA. We're right in the middle of the NBA playoffs. And Ariel, you've got some really good stuff here on some players. And unfortunately, the Luka Doncic injury is he's questionable tonight. I think he plays, but of course that is just going to affect all of the props in that game, and especially Jalen Brunson. So talk to me about Jalen Brunson breakout game. Talk about a guy who is getting ready to count some money when he gets his next contract. Exciting guy to watch. But let's talk about his rebounds here for a little bit. If Luka is out.
If Luka Doncic is out, I love the over 5.5 rebounds on Jalen Brunson. The Utah Jazz have one of the best centers in the league in Rudy Gobert. When you look at the last 10, 15 games that the Jazz have played, he's really good against big men. When it comes to point guards, most point guards tend to go over this number. Chris Paul went over this number. Doncic went over this number in every game he faced Utah. Even Jalen Brunson in the last regular season matchup went over this number. In the last game between these two teams, without Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson went over 5.5 rebounds. It's just a trend that I've spotted, Andy, where these overs on point guard rebounds against Utah have been very profitable lately because it's really just the big men that Gobert is defending against.
Yeah, and I want you to go over your next one because I'm in agreement. When Luka's out, I mean, think of all those stats that Luka accumulates over the course of a game, and now those are just left for everyone else to have to fill in. So, 1 or 2 rebounds per person is certainly within reason. Your next one, we're going to talk about Steven Adams, and I loved when you sent over this play because this actually fit perfectly into a topic I wanted to go over. I do not see Steven Adams props out. I don't even know if the books are going to put him out, but you and I are on this. Yeah, you and I are on the same page. Let's talk Steven Adams and unders when they come out.
The center for the Grizzlies, Steven Adams, has been atrocious. Anytime that he's been on the floor, he's done pretty much nothing. He just put up zeros and a 1. He had 0 rebounds, 0 points, and 1 assist in his last game. If any point you're getting a points, rebounds, assist prop, if you're getting a points prop, just bet unders on Steven Adams. I'd probably bet the under points, rebounds, plus assist because he just can't seem to figure it out. The Grizzlies have to keep him off the floor. Anything that you can get on the board for Steven Adams, just go under.
Yeah, we had a bet last game, and
he's not even
part of the reason
minutes.
He's not even playing 4 minutes. He played 3 minutes last game. No, we were laughing because they're like, if they have any reason to sit Steven Adams for the rest of the game, they will. And sure, he gets 2 fouls real quick, and then we never see him again. So this is a trend that we noticed last year, and I want to go over this. It's centers and unders PRA in the playoffs. So let me run down these players here for you, okay? Rudy Gobert is 2-0 on unders. Dwight Powell, 2-0 unders. Steven Adams, 2-0 unders. Karl Anthony Towns, 1-1 unders. Joel Embiid is 3-0 to the under. Jokic, 2-0 under. Bam is 2-0. Al Horford's 1-1. Andre Drummond, 2-0. Valanciunas, 1-1. Ayton, 1-1. The only guy who's done well is Vucevic. You add all those guys together, that's 19-6 to the unders if you're playing these centers. On points, rebounds, and assists. When these playoffs roll around, these wing players just get all of the points, and you see these big-name guys where you look and say, oh, Joel Embiid, 48.5, surely he's going to go over. He had a monster game in overtime, and he still went under by half. So there's so much value taking these big guys. If you get foul trouble on these big numbers, they're over. If you get them where it's a blowout and they sit the fourth quarter, you got a good shot. And we're seeing Jokic just get so frustrated. Jokic, how many times are you going to play unders on Jokic? Well, almost every time in the playoffs. So centers and unders has been a really, really good trend. And Ariel, I did want to get your take. This Chris Middleton injury and the Bulls steamroll the Bucks after Middleton goes out. Any ramifications in this series that we're going to look at with the Bucks and the Bulls? I think there might be a couple of spots for us. Any takes on this series?
It's unfortunate because in this series, I really like for the Bucks to steamroll the Bulls. Thought that the Bucks were going to have no issue, 4 or 5 games max that this series was going to go. The Bulls just struggle defensively, and they can't stop Giannis with anybody. Giannis Antetokounmpo eating in the paint no matter what. When you lose a player like Chris Middleton, who I would say is your second, third best player, Milwaukee, of course, has so many players that aside for Giannis seem to rotate every day who's going to be that number 2 guy behind him. It's a big loss, but last year they had a little bit of experience too. He was in and out of the lineup. Assists get impacted by Middleton being out. The Bucks still have Giannis. I'm not going to be too concerned. It's not like Middleton is the solid number 2. Everyone switches roles on that team. Chicago can't play defense, and that's going to be the biggest dagger for them. you've got to give the Bucks some time to figure out how to adjust. I'm not going to judge a team based off how they do in the first game or half game without a player. I'll just wait to see this one out. I didn't bet any kind of game. I didn't go game by game in this series. I just went series bet 4 and 5. It was really good value in the 2 to 3 to 1 range. I just can't see a world where the Chicago Bulls could start playing defense to stop what Giannis Antetokounmpo could do in the paint.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm sitting on those Bucks to win in 4, Bucks to win in 5, and then Middleton limps off the court, and you're just watching DeRozan torture the Bucks. So
you've got to figure that they have to be good enough to adjust.
You would hope so, but boy, Coach Bud, he loves his rotation, and if something gets, a wrench gets thrown into it, he's like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, just like, what do I do now? So I look for DeRozan to keep feasting. Another little nice one is Vucevic rebounds. He's gone over the last couple games. Hopefully the Bucks don't, or the books don't catch on to that. And can they put Giannis's PRA high enough? He went for 33, 18, and went for 33, 18, and 9. That's 60 PRA. I don't know. What number would it have to get to where you're taking an under? Are we looking at like 58 and a half?
Yeah, something like that. I was going to say anything in the 50s. I probably am like a little too nervous to bet anyway. High 50s for sure, but I would not bet any unders. No way. It's just bad betting advice. Just either over or stay away. That's it with Giannis.
Absolutely. I want you to tell us about Brandon Clark, because we had a bet on him the other night, and we cashed thanks to the garbage time. So garbagey that he went over his points. I got to believe his props are going to be up before game time. I don't see him right now, but tell us about Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark will likely be influenced by the books on Steven Adams numbers, and if they decide to put out certain other players. I mean, when you get anyone coming off the bench, it's always going to come out right before the game starts. I like Brandon Clark overs on points or points plus rebounds because I looked back at his last few games against Minnesota, especially in there, and he played pretty well. He had about 13 points. If you could get an 11.5 and 12.5 on Brandon Clark, I really like it for his points prop. I could see him going over and taking over the playing time that they're going to need with another big man on the floor, losing Steven Adams for the 4 minutes he plays. Yeah, go bet the over on Brandon Clark. He's pretty much my offensive substitute for the center that the Memphis Grizzlies now do not have.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things going for him. You got the Steven Adams thing, but also he's coming in if someone gets in foul trouble. It seems like he's the first one to come in. And then what we saw the other night was, if the game's a blowout, he's one of their fourth quarter guys. So his minutes are pretty protected. If the game's a blowout, he's not sitting. He's out there, and that's how he got over his total last time. He got a little bit of foul trouble.
13, and 20 that stood out to me were 3 out of the 5 games that he had against Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. And this game tonight should be a barn burner. I think Minnesota got pretty lackadaisical in game 2. They're like, we got the 1-1 split, but tonight you're going to see a lot of props and a lot of overs. I'm going to close this out with one of my favorite plays. This is actually a client play tonight. Plays of the day is up on WagerTalk.com. We actually have 2 plays of the day. We could not narrow it down to one like we normally do. So we have 2 of them up. This is one of them. Well, with Bojan Bogdanovic over 21.5 points. The Jazz getting their points from the same guys. It's Donovan Mitchell, it's Bogdanovic, and Jordan Clarkson. We had a Royce O'Neal sighting. We had a Mike Conley sighting. But other than that, it's been these guys. And Donovan Mitchell, my gosh, talk about a ball hog. If you just watch this game, the guy's completely out of control. He's throwing the ball off the backboard. He's taking 30 shots a game while his teammates are open. And I think they're going to reel Donovan in tonight. I also think you're going to see Dallas completely sell out to stop Mitchell. And that's going to open up the floor for Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic has gone for 25 and 26 points in both games. It's been efficient, 11 from 20 from the field in game 1, 9 for 15 in game 2. He's only 3 for 10 from threes, so I think we might get a little bit of a breakout from him from threes. But it comes down to Bogdanovic, Clarkson, and Mitchell. So as long as the books keep this around 21.5, I'm going to keep playing it. I expect them to get around this 25 and 26 points in both games. So, boy, Ariel, it was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we gave out some really good K props and some NBA props. This is our new show, Prop Shop. We're going to be aiming for every Thursday with the great Ariel Epstein from Yahoo Sports, the one and only prop queen. There can be only one. Let's do a all picks recap. Ariel, you're looking at Plesac under 4.5 Ks. DeSclafani under 4.5 Ks. That game, those games should be off right now. You like Gonzalez under 4.5 Ks tonight. Brunson, if Luka's out, we're looking over his rebounds. Steven Adams under everything if he plays. Everything. Brandon Clark, we like his points or points and rebounds when those come out. I'll take JP Crawford over half a base. Pablo Lopez under 5.5 Ks and Bogdanovich tonight over 21.5 points. Ariel, that is a lot of props we just gave out in 20 minutes. So if you can't find some winners out of that, I don't know what we're doing.
Then
but
I'll jump off the building, and Joe Ranieri will feed me some mimosas.
Let's do Mimosa and Bloody Mary Thursday next week. So Ariel, thank you so much. You can check her out on MLB Network and of course Yahoo Sports. I'm Andy Lang from WagerTalk.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Prop Shop, and we will see you next Thursday.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.